Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Here I am today. So excited for another book launch. And this is all to help children and their families learn how to listen at an elevated level. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, and I'm super proud of our team on this book project, The Ocean Calls and Lady Ella Listens. Let's get right into it. The book is available today in Kindle format. You can go and order it right now. Paperback coming soon. Let's look at our team who is here today. First, I'm going to bring out, joining us from London, Dr. Madalene Chan. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, viewers. Hey, I'm under the sea.
I see that. I feel like I'm in an aquarium. Dr. Chan, you played a dual role in this book. You have a character, Sid the Squid. We have to learn something from Sid the Squid's behavior. And you're also a co-author on this book. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me for the team as well.
You're welcome. Let's welcome our other co-author on this project, joining us from New Zealand, MARISKA DEBRA. Hello, MARISKA.
Hello. We are literally global. This book is global.
Yes, it is.
Somebody from everywhere.
It's very exciting. We're going to talk more about that. Let's welcome our book coach and editor / publisher extraordinaire, Mr. Red O'Loughlin, joining us from Texas in the United States. Howdy.
Howdy, y'all. I was just thinking, if you had afternoon tea under the ocean there with Lady Ella, it would be pretty watered down.
Oh, you're on a roll today with these jokes. I love it. Thanks, Red. And the star of our book, in honor of someone very special, I'm going to let him tell us. It is Doug Lawrence. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hello to everybody, and hello to our listening and viewing audience. Welcome to the book launch.
Doug, thank you so much for being here. When I reached out to you and I said, I'd love to have you in this book and you'll be the star, you came back right away and said, let's do it, because somebody really special to you is being represented by Thomas the Dolphin. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Thomas the Dolphin is, in actual fact, it was a sea animal that my grandson, Thomas, picked out and said, well, that's who I want to be, because I had done this for my granddaughter, and I wanted to make sure to sort of keep the scales balanced, where if you do for one, you do for the other. And that's basically what transpired. And he was actually more vocal in wanting to be able to pick his character, and that's what he's gone and done, Thomas the Dolphin.
Thank you,
I
Doug.
love it.
I love it too.
I never knew that.
It's always important, I feel, to hear people's reasons for being part of a project. And I know when I first created the opportunity for people on book one, I think it was kind of nebulous and people were like interested, but yet they couldn't actually figure it out. And now that we're launching book 4, we already have book 5 and 6, which are in the can, so to speak. We've got book 7, which is we still have to work on. And then we have our second series of the magical adventures of Lady Ella and her superpowered friends. I think it's a little easier to comprehend that we're putting together this content to help inspire children and their families so they learn how to listen without picking up bad habits. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. So, Red, I want to just ask you, because you've been working with me for a while on all the books, and you can say whatever is really true, but why are you still part of this journey? Because it does take a lot of effort, and you're so good at what you do. Do you have a special place in your heart for children?
Well, I have 2 of my own and 3 grandchildren and a few granddogs and others that, I'm the oldest of 9 kids. So I think that speaks a lot right there for the family aspect of it. 6 of us are still alive, but regardless, I think family is a major portion of our lives. And with any kind of relationship, it could be super good or absolutely unbearable. But generally, you have to work at both ends to keep something either super good or super bad. But I think if you provide the continuing education, which is what the series does in many regards, that it's a major step forward in people being able to live their lives better. You get somebody 5, 6, 7 years old who learns a little bit that they may not learn even into their teens or 20s. That can make a big difference in their lives. It really can.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Red. So I want to just talk about the storyline a little bit and have everybody just jump in with your thoughts. So I'm not sure if you've had the opportunity to actually read the book as of yet. For viewers out there, if you haven't, you can go over to Amazon right now and you can order your copy. So the storyline is that there is a ladybug, and she has a special ability to help animals listen. And she also helps them understand about what's going on in the world. So Lady Ella, the ladybug, is also known as the listening mentor. So it's kind of interesting because Lady Ella represents a real person whose name is Ella, and she is my great niece. And it's interesting watching her grow up and the videos that her parents post, the things that it's just incredible how quickly she's growing up. So the ladybug represents her, and then also my title, the listening mentor. So the ladybug travels around. She literally flies around, and this time she's on Seagull Airlines, which is a seagull. And so she, in the first book, she went to Gentle Farm, where she was working with the farm animals and the forest animals and helping them learn how to communicate. And there's always something that happens in the book, and then somebody's mischievous and not really doing what they're supposed to do, and they're the one who helps us learn the lesson. Then she leaves from Gentle Farm and she goes to the School of Joy, where there's a talent show, and there's something going on at the talent show with Alcini, of course, always getting into trouble as Tespadora. And so the animals learn something special about how to listen. And in that one, Doug was also included in that one, and you were doing that in honor of someone else. Tell us about that.
That was in honor of my granddaughter, Olivia. And I think she was Olivia the Lioness. And I have to share this with you. So I ordered the paperback version of the book, and when it came and I took it to her, and she literally consumed the book all in one sitting. It was just like, and I was blown away. And I know what's going to happen is Thomas is going to be a little bit more slow and deliberate at going through the book, but his sister will be waiting in the wings, sort of saying, okay, let me at it, let me at it. So yeah, it was, yeah, we'll leave it there.
Exciting. That makes sense, brings like tears to my eyes. I just love that. And Dr. Chan, wasn't it book 2 and 3 that you took to read to children there in London?
Yes, I did. A nursery for preschoolers, and for 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, up to maximum 4 years old. And it was really received well. I couldn't believe that they could actually pronounce the characters' names, because some of the characters' names were quite long for their understanding and vocabulary at that time. But they loved the characters, and I asked them questions. So I read it, but I read each little part section first and then ask the questions rather than read the whole thing, the whole story, and then ask the questions, because their minds can't comprehend, their memory there. So I kind of made it a fun and game, and they loved it. They really did. And that some of the bigger words were a little bit challenging for them, but they asked what it meant. So that was room for learning. Learning through play.
Yeah.
But they loved it. They really did. I was so surprised. I really was.
That just makes me smile also. Thank you.
Magical.
So Lady Ella leaves the School of Joy and she flies to London, where she is at the British School of Excellence having afternoon tea. And so, of course, there's a lesson to be learned there. And after her work there is completed, she gets a call from Mother Earth that Mother Earth is crying, the ocean's crying because the ocean's filled with pollution. So Lady Ella hops aboard Seagull Airlines and she travels there to meet Thomas, who's waiting for her. And Thomas has some scuba gear for her. She's got her cool shades and she's got her fins and she's got her scuba mask. And they encounter Eve, the seal, who is stuck in a fisherman's net. And we find out, without giving away more of the story, that Sid the squid has been up to no good. And so then the story literally unravels. So in this one, we're looking at pollution, ocean pollution, as well as the fact that there's not listening going on. There's not compassion and empathy and all of these things that we want children to learn about. So Doug, I'm going to ask you, because the rest of us know the whole story because we wrote it or published it. So when you hear about something like ocean pollution being combined with listening lessons, do you think that's too much for a child, or do you think it's right on point?
No, when I think of my two grandchildren as the example, I think they surprise us by being able to connect the dots a lot quicker than sometimes us more senior individuals can do. So I don't think it's too much at all. I know for Olivia and Thomas, they'll connect the dots really quickly. So I don't think it's a challenge for them to do so.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate that. I noticed with my own nephews, they are much more aware of the environment and aware of the actions that we take today and how it's going to impact the future, I think, than the generation that some of us are from. And so I'm wondering if the newer generations, the young children, they might be even more spot on about this. They could even write their own book, probably. So.
The crystal children.
Mariska, what would you say your experience was like? Because Madalene is there in the UK and I'm here in the US, and the three of us had to put this together. What was that experience like for you?
I really enjoyed it. So for me, other than time difference, so we had to literally juggle a couple of possibilities so we can get together in our virtual room in order to get some of the stuff sorted out. But other than that, I absolutely loved it. And going back to book 2, where we also had the song that Dr. Madalene wrote, and we all sort of put all our thoughts together for that I think being able to collaborate over the distance that we have, and with the technology that we have available to us, anything is possible. So we can literally create so much if we only decide to put our minds to it and go out and do that. So that's what we did. And hey, look, that's what Lady Ella is doing too in all her travels. She's literally traveling the globe. So fun stuff.
Can I just add something onto there? I didn't actually write it. We all did a co-written. Dr. Jacalyn, Mariska, myself, and what was that girl's name? Lala
Lala
or Pawpaw?
Ah, yes.
Lala Pot. Yeah, Lala Pot. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was co-written, great dream team work.
We're just going to take a look at the song because we get royalties, so why shouldn't we play it? This is
Yeah.
the song from the second book called Listening Lacies.
When we speak, we don't hear. It's abundantly clear. Listening laces creeping, and nobody's gonna win. Look someone in the eye. If you don't, they surely will cry. You don't hear a word I say, 'cause you always look straight away. Listening laces, drive people crazy. Listening laces, making us blue. Listening laces, communication goes hazy. Listening laces, listening laces. Da 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 da. Listening laces, driving us crazy. Listening laces, making us blue. Listening laces, communication goes hazy. Listening laces, listening laces. When you interrupt your friend, you will surely have to make amends. Lady Ella knows the way to help you listen better every day. And what's that? It's listening laces! Ba-da-ba-ba. Listening laces, driving us crazy. Listening laces, making us blue. Listening laces, communication goes hazy. Listening laces, listening laces. Listening laces, driving us crazy. Listening laces, making us blue. Listening laces, communication goes hazy. Listening laces, listening laces, listening laces.
Hey! If only our world leaders would sing that song and listen to it.
And the last time I checked, I think it was a month and a half ago, we'd earned 39 cents in royalties that will be split 4 ways. So that's super exciting.
But the thing is, Dr. Jacalyn and Mariska and Doug and Red, even though we do the songs, when you get to do the animation, which I do believe it's going to happen, like say with Netflix or Amazon, honestly, you will have the songs. We will have the songs already there.
Yes.
But you
And
know something
that's
that-
when you're going to earn mega bucks.
biggest problem we had during this book was I actually made a mistake, and I apologize right now to the whole world. I introduced Dr. Jacalyn to ChatGPT, and it just kind of exploded. And we actually used it for editing the book. I used it as an editor. We used it for some other functions there to summarize biographies, to get them down to certain sizes. There's a lot to be done there. And with what Dr. Madeline was saying, that actually I think it was Mariska was saying that we might see, I mean, the book is set up for a 5 to 10-year-old. With artificial intelligence, I would not be surprised to see a 5, 6, 7-year-old using some kind of artificial intelligence to write children's books the way they want, with them and their friends as the main characters in the book, because it's so easy today. And the same thing, that same book can be converted into a poem for a poetry book. It can be converted into a song. So there's just a lot of things that the artificial intelligence allows us to do today that, 2 years ago, we didn't even think we had the capability of doing it easily.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's always new ways to use it. I know I used I used ChatGPT to redo our YouTube descriptions on both of our channels, to do my LinkedIn bio, to do our website missions. There's a lot of things, but it makes mistakes also. And I have the free version, which means it only goes up to September, I think, of 2021.
Even the paid version only goes to September
Oh,
2021.
okay. I didn't realize that. But it's just a matter of funneling. It saves a lot of time from a big perspective, getting it down to where you need it to be. But for this book, we did not use ChatGPT to write the book. We used it for editing and for the bios. So a question I have, and I'm going to pose this to Doug. Doug, you are an international bestseller, which means you've got sales and reviews, which are the toughest things to get. We can write the content, publish it, get it out there. What would you suggest for anybody who's looking to be an international bestseller?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stick to sort of my mantra that's always been, I didn't write books to make money. I wrote them to get the story out there, to get the message out there. So that would, for me, it's not about the money.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us here agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because now, Red, you're also an Amazon #1 best-selling author. What do you find the secret is, if there is a secret?
As I tell the people that I work with, the more reviews you get in a very short period of time, usually the first 72 hours, that is probably one of them. I'm not going to say the guarantee, but it probably is 90% of the guarantee of becoming a #1 best-selling author. The #2 area is number of sales. And so if you end up with 30 sales in the first 72 hours, that's fine. You end up with 300, you're probably almost guaranteed to be a best-selling. But the real determiner more than anything else is the category you're in and who else released a book the same day you did. If Oprah Winfrey released a children's book on listening on the same day today as Dr. Jacalyn, chances are she would be buried in the you wouldn't even be able to see 300 versus however many somebody like Oprah could sell. So you always have that unknown of being able to catch a category that somebody else happens to dominate. And that's why it's always important to look at and see who are your competitors, what kinds of books they have, and some other things about it. It's a wise thing to do if you're getting ready to publish a book.
Makes sense. Thanks, Red. Yeah, that's important.
Thank you.
I want to mention also that there are 3 other characters in this book who are not here today. So I just want to acknowledge them. They were invited, but they're not here. So that would be Carl, the mermaid, and we have Eve, the seal, and we have Hola, the whale. So we want to thank them for their participation in the book. So when it comes down to what it is that children really want to read. Okay, I don't have any children. So for those of you who do have children, and they could be grown children now, but how do you know what's best to bring home for them to read? There's so many choices. Is it a fantasy story? Is it something that's nonfiction? Is it something that has really cool pictures? Is it something that has big words? Is it something that it's a hardback book, or it's a certain size? What is it that you would do or you have done?
Intergalactic space romance.
That's a good one, Red.
I think you have to, what your kids are, what their interests are. If somebody has an interest in the ocean, for instance, that's probably a clue as to what they would like to read. Most of us, grew up with TV and reading, but you take a look at the kids nowadays, almost everybody from about 5 years of age on has their own cell phone, but they all have something they have an interest in. And whatever that interest may happen to be, I think that's where you start, because that's where you start aligning what they like with what they don't know at all. And I think that's a good place to start.
Thanks, Red.
For me, Dr. Jacalyn, with working in a nursery before in the past, and then just this last month, and then when I was younger, I was working in the nursery. I remember there was this book called The Gruffalo, and it looked like this huge, humongous beast with these big tusks like an elephant. And the kids absolutely loved the full color illustrations of the Gruffalo, and they love what I found was they love colorful illustrations and television. Look at the way that the Teletubbies, the kids were going crazy for Teletubbies, and then Peppa Pig.
Are those like pet rocks?
Which Peppa Pig or the Teletubbies?
I don't know either one.
I don't know.
You don't know the Teletubbies? Well, you know, in America, you had Sesame Street. Do you remember Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Yes. Oscar
Yeah.
and
Oscar, yeah.
Oscar.
Then they made the book, Sesame Street. So they
I
see
remember
it
that.
visual, and then they make it into merchandise, into a book. So Teletubbies were about these little beings from a different planet that didn't even speak. They go, one of us, Paul, la, Paul, and everyone goes, oh, it's Paul, and the kiddies would actually make the sounds of the noises.
Another double for the lady over there in England, please.
So,
Doug, I'm going to go over to you. So, do you recall back when you were buying books?
I can't top any of that. So Thomas the Train and
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I remember
and
him.
Harry Potter.
That's right.
Harry Potter.
And if you read the book, like my granddaughter has read the book and now gets sort of what Mom had said was, if you read the book, then you get to watch the movie.
Okay. So, Doug, do you recall what it was about those books that you decided to purchase them?
Other than, I asked what would be something that you would like to read. And part of me is wanting to look at something that was sort of a series of books. So there was kind of a story that starts on, at the beginning with book one, and it takes you through a number of different scenarios and stuff like that. So the, Thomas the Train, maybe not quite so much, but definitely the Harry Potter series. And I know what it was like for me growing up. For me, it was the Hardy Boys, and same sort of concept or same sort of idea was, book number one led to book number two to number three and so on from there.
Oh my gosh, Doug, you're just bringing up all kinds of memories for me. Thank you. I'm thinking of Nancy Drew.
I've read those too.
Yes, that's right. And it was because it was in a series and you look forward to the next thing. So I think we might be onto something here with the series. What do you think?
I do. I also think that the illustrations are very much related to Disney. They look like Disney, Pixar and Disney. They're very high quality.
I can see Lady Ella meets Nancy Drew. I can see that.
Oh, I like that one.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Nancy Drew comes back in the ghost form.
She comes back with a beetle head. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up about
You're solving mysteries, and that's one of the things. If you listen carefully, you can solve mysteries.
Oh,
right. Third series for Lady Ella. So I'm glad you brought up about the illustration. So our illustrator does an incredible job. His name is Muhammad, and he's never met him, but we've worked now on these 4 books. He's also done the cover for the 5th book, which, let me see if I have it here somewhere. Here it is, which is not available in paperback yet, but you can pre-order it. And this book was already a #1 new release in all 3 categories, which is incredible. And he has just finished the coloring book cover, which I mentioned, and he's working on 2 nonfiction books for me, which are going to have illustrations in there. So he's doing a great job. Thank you, Muhammad. We really appreciate you. And he's looking for additional clients. So if you're, I can't give him all the work, you can contact me and I'll put you in touch with him. So, okay. So I'd like to just go around and have Dr. Chan, knowing that you have the character who is in trouble in this book and needs to learn a lesson. Did you take that personally when we decided it was going to be you? Did you say, I don't want to be the baddie?
No, I mean, after coming up with the name Sid the Squid, you know he's going to be mischievous. You know, he's definitely, he can't be Sid the Squid, the wise one. And he's not really comedy. He's kind of a little bit dim by not listening. A bit dopey. You know, Sid the Squid. Yeah.
But you weren't upset. It wasn't
Oh,
like,
no,
why do I have to be
I was
the
all
baddie?
for it.
Okay. Does that really have a parallel with you in your real life, that you can be an example for others? You're okay to stand out?
But by dimming my light.
All right, we'll skip that.
That's what I love about it.
Doug, on the other side, you're the A+. You're the gold star. You're the lead. Was that important to you? If I said to you, we want you to be Sid the Squid, would you have still been in the book?
Considering that Thomas played a large part in picking the character, I don't know. I don't know if I would dive into Sid the Squid's pool and try and make this the best that there could be, or if I would kind of stay in my own swim lane and kind of go with, being a team player, I guess I would do whatever it took to get the book out there. But at the end of the day, I think that Thomas the dolphin was the wise choice.
Yes, I agree with you. And I love the fact that your grandson actually picked it out and named it. I think that's what makes it so personal.
Yeah.
And for our other animals who are not here today, I just want to, and not just animals, but Rebecca Lilly is the mermaid, and she is in the London area, and she designs the mermaid to look the way the mermaid does, with the long hair and the tail. I always thought it'd be cool to be a mermaid, by the way. That would be really neat. Also, we have my sister, Deborah Wilson, and she picked out Hola, Hola, the whale, and she designed Hola and has a special meaning to her. And DIANN FLOYD BOEHM is Eve the seal. And so I believe DIANN wanted to be one of the other characters that was taken, but she picked the seal. And so each of these characters, as I mentioned in the beginning, represents a real person who took the power of listening. And what I really want to do is just thank all of you for your commitment to listening skills, to empowering others, and to being part of this project that's ongoing, because I can see other iterations of it coming in the future, in terms of animations, for example, in terms of merchandise. We already have some merchandise that's available for Lady Ella, and I wanted to test the quality myself. So I bought a hat, I bought a watch band, I bought a keychain, I bought a shirt, and I wasn't too excited with the quality. So we have to keep working on that. So I think as we go around, I'd love to have each of you share a little bit about the work that you do, so that people can get to know you, that not only are you all about listening, and not only are you involved with this platform, USA Global TV and Radio, but you have your own businesses and you can bring value to people outside of the children's books. So let's start with Mr. Doug Lawrence.
Okay, so what I do, I'm an international certified mentor, so I work with people. I do leadership mentoring. I help people or organizations implement mentoring programs within their organization. But more importantly is that I've made a shift here not too horribly long ago, where I'm now focused on grief and mental health. And so using mentoring tools and techniques, processes and all of that to be able to help people on their path to a healing journey, whether it be for their mental health or whether it be for grief. And as you mentioned earlier, one of the books that I have written and is published is a book that's called You Are Not Alone, Amazon #1 bestseller. And it's all about the aspect of how mentoring can be part of the support structure for mental health. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Doug. And I just want to say, with everybody here watching, Doug is leaving us, USA Global TV and Radio. We've been working together on your story, your grief, your journey, and also stories of hope, inspiration, overcoming adversity. And he's got some other exciting projects on the book, and his time is very precious and valuable. So I want to thank you, Doug. We've really had a lot of great conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were completely emotionally just spent.
Yeah.
But some really deep conversations that you and I have had, and we've got this connection, and I think we work really well together. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wish you the very best.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And anything we can ever do in the future to help you, let us know.
Yeah,
I
keep
will.
in contact, Doug.
Yeah, I will.
Yes, for sure. And Doug's very quick to respond. So you can get him on Messenger and he gets right back to you. So, okay, let's go over to you, Red.
Well, first off, I'm a writer, researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem. Treat symptoms, and you'll always be treating symptoms. That's what I write about. That's what I speak about. I've also published books primarily for new authors. And I've been very fortunate to be a host on the USA Global TV and Radio Network.
Thanks, Red. Well, the television is on here, and you were just on for weight management. So I got Red here and I got Red there. And Red and I have been working together since I don't even know when.
I think since your 20s, yes.
Since I was in my 20s. But every one of the books, which there's 4 here and then 2 before that, and then the one after that, so that's 4, 2, that's 7. Every one of the books has been a #1 bestseller or a #1 new release on Amazon, and that's because of Red.
And that's only because she writes that many, one a month. I mean, it's amazing how she keeps up with that.
Well, I actually have a new book coming out on the power of listening and how that aligns with negotiation skills. And of course, we have our Lady Ella series books that are coming out, and also Blonde, Sexy, and Hot as you know what, Beauty Brains and Ulcerative Colitis. So. Let's go over to Dr. Chan. Tell us about you.
I'm going to say, I'm called a creative heart awakened, meaning that creativity is what is my driving force. It's what is my everyday fuel in life. I'm more creative than corporate, really. And the fact that I can help you connect to your inner, your creative genius by balancing your male and female energies and connecting to what you want to do in this life. And when you come to that question, who am I? What is the reason why I'm here? What's the whole point of it? You know, the 3 W's, then obviously that is time that you need to come in and learn about the inner world and balancing the inner and the external world. And I do that with Dr. Jacalyn, where we've put together some courses, the power of listening, of courses of listening and transitioning your life.
Absolutely. And Dr. Chan is amazing to work with. She's very diligent. She's very passionate. She's very organized, and she gets stuff done. And the way she presents the information, the way her mind works, it's really impressive.
Don't tell her about. Do not tell her about ChatGPT. She'll go crazy.
I really need to know about that.
I will tell you about it for sure. And I also want to say that Dr. Chan will be with me tomorrow, along with Caroline Heward. We will be teaching some students, 50-some students in Africa and Zambia, the Power of Listening course through the International School of Economics and Applied Sciences, which is Dr. Justina Mutali's school. She's the rector there. She's one of our team members. So look forward to that. And Mariska became an Amazon #1 best-selling author with our 5th book that was released on pre-order, which is the one I just showed you. Lady Ella Listens from the Baobab National Game Park. So congratulations to
Oh,
you, Marissa.
congratulations. Wow. How do you become number one on Amazon?
It's a lot.
Well,
It's strategy.
Mainly beauty.
Strategy. It's keywords, it's sales, it's reviews, it's all the above. And I found for me the keywords really, that's the biggest thing. So for example, for this book, book 4, this book actually came out for pre-order, I think in February. And I was really frustrated because it wasn't initially a #1 new release. So Mariska and I got together and just literally started changing the keywords, and boom, that was it. So I noticed that it's fallen significantly in terms of where it is in the category. So I need to change the category. Mariska and I will talk about that, but it's also how much work do you want to put into that, right? So we already got the recognition and we're not concerned about the money. So it's just about putting out things for, additional content. So Mariska has been with me since the very beginning, and she was actually very instrumental in helping me leave my corporate job. We came up with 3 plans, A, B, and C, of resigning from my career. And then of course the pandemic hit, and she helped me through my health issues with remember my face with the autoimmune disease all over my face. It looks like some kind of freak. Anyway, she's helped me in many ways. Mariska, tell us about the work that you do.
Well, other than writing children's books, I also work with people that's transitioning from a specialization into leadership, and love working with engineers, because that is typically people that have a tendency to not always work on the relationship parts of the leadership experience as much, or don't necessarily take it into consideration as much. Because, man, if you've already got the answer, why can't the other people just see it? Unfortunately, not the way it works. So helping them to upskill themselves within leadership, that is what I do. And listening, as we learn in the books, very, very key element of that, because listening is valuable in all our relationships. As Dr. Jacalyn mentioned earlier, negotiations, definitely need to listen. And anywhere else that we function, we need to also listen to others and ourselves. So that's what I do. I also have a little podcast with another coach friend of mine called Wiffle. So there we literally discuss whatever it is we feel like. So it is a variety of different topics, and most of them are around how we can better ourselves as human beings. And that is, I think, most of the stuff that I do. Of course, also being on the platform, having a talking head show, and Dr. Jacalyn being with you again a little bit later on today for our Women's Prerogative. So, yes.
Thank you. I have to say, it gives me true joy just to see this happiness on everyone's face. Everyone's smiling and seems to be happy about where they are. So I thank you for that. And also, Dr. Chan, Red, and Mariska are all talking heads. So please do capture. Please go over to the YouTube channel and check out their episodes. And Doug, as I mentioned, you'll be leaving us sadly, but your work here will be there forever on our YouTube channel. So you can always find Doug over on Your Story, Your Grief, Your Journey, as well as stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. So once again, I want to thank Deborah Wilson, Rebecca Lilly, and Diann Floyd Boehm, who could not be here with us today. You're here in our hearts. Thank you. Great work. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's time to sign off. We'll be coming back with A Woman's Prerogative very shortly. And thank you all for being here and being part of this journey. I really do appreciate it. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Bye, everyone. Bye.